From New York, before the nation's biggest bankers answered even one question this morning on Capitol Hill about how they have spent those taxpayer-funded bailout dollars, they had yet another outrage to address. Our fifth story on the countdown, the Attorney General of New York State alerting the House Financial Committee of the early findings of his investigation, accusing Merrill Lynch of secretly and prematurely handing out more than $3.5 billion in bonuses just before the bank merged with Bank of America, all paid for with help from your taxpayer dollars. The economic mess that President Obama inherited from the Bush administration, thus moving today from critical to criminal. And the CEOs of the 8 banks that have taken more than half of the TARP money already handed out, hauled before Congress today for what passes for oversight. The chairman of the committee, Barney Frank, throwing open a question to any executive who would dare answer it, a question he first asked on this news hour. Why do you need to be bribed with bonuses in order to do your job?
Why do you need bonuses? Can't we just give you a good salary or give yourselves a good salary, you're in charge of that, and do the job? This notion that you need some special incentive to do the right thing troubles people. Anyone who wants to answer, please go ahead.
We all grew out of small partnerships. It was historical. Morgan Stanley did not go public until 1986. When I joined the firm, there were 325 people and probably 20 partners. They took very low salaries, and at the end of that, you got a bonus. The firm did well. And without question, given the kind of risk that we take today, the global nature of our business and the size of our business, all that has to be looked at again. To answer your question specifically, at least at my level, and I think my colleagues here would say the same, we love what we do. If you gave me no bonus in the best year, I would still be here.
I thank you. I will not, and I appreciate that answer. Inertia is not, and I thank you very much. And so it does seem to me that if there weren't bonuses, we'd still get our money's worth. So I will not bill you for my services as an efficiency consultant.
Bank of America CEO Ken Lewis targeted with the question about the timing of those Merrill Lynch bonuses. His answer, it did not happen on my watch.
First of all, I do know that we urged the Merrill Lynch executives that were involved in this compensation issue to reduce the bonuses substantially, particularly at the top. I will remind you, though, that they were a public company until the first of this year. They had a separate board, separate compensation committee, and we had no authority to tell them what to do, just urge them what to do. Nobody on my management team received any incentives. Nobody on my management team has a contract or a golden parachute or severance. And then finally, we pay our bonuses on February the 15th of the following year. So major changes will be made, but we could not make them until we own the company.
And shut off your iPhone and your BlackBerry before you testify. Nearly every member of the committee having received their own bonuses, in a sense, contributions associated with these financial institutions during the 2008 election cycle totaled $1.8 million. 18 of the lawmakers with their own personal funds invested in the companies. That might help to explain why some questions seem to be stronger than others, meaning that some answers were patently obvious.
Why do some banks turn their back and say, I don't want any more TARP funds, I don't want any TARP funds, I don't want to live with the problems of government money, of taxpayers' money? What is the rationale there? Could you help me with that?
Yes. The reason is that they don't want the government involved in their business. Simple as that.
In one notable exchange, California Congresswoman Maxine Waters asking whether, after receiving bailout money, any of the banks raised credit card rates on consumers. Mr. Bank of America, among the captains of the universe, admitting that they did.
First of all, I feel more like corporal of the universe, not captain of the universe at the moment. But
did you increase your credit card interest rate?
In 2008, we increased rates on 9% of our customers.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else increase the credit card rates after you received TARP money? Anyone else? If so, would you just raise your hand? Thank you. You sent out the letters that I'm trying to describe, saying that you have the authority to do that. Did any of you reduce the amount of credit that was available to credit card holders because they shopped at certain stores? Just raise your hand if you did. None of you did.
Congresswoman Waters joins us now from Washington. Thanks for some of your time tonight.
You're welcome.
Did the hearings reveal to you anything you didn't know already? What did you learn, if anything, here today?
Well, I was more interested in trying to understand whether or not they really got it and that they understood that the American taxpayers were basically bailing them out. And they had a responsibility to unfreeze the credit. They had a responsibility to say to those American taxpayers who are putting money into their banks that they would make money available to them for their basic everyday needs. We have citizens who are trying to get loans for cars, mortgages, to pay for their students' college fees, etc. And they don't seem to know that the very people that are giving them the money, who are knocking on their doors asking for credit, should not be turned down. And I was trying to really figure out, what did they know? What did they understand? What did they expect was going to happen in the future? The thing that I got out of it today was we put them before the public. We had transparency on a number of these issues. I forced them to have to tell that they are increasing the interest rate on credit cards even after the taxpayers have given them this bailout money.
So answer your own question there. I mean, Mr. Pandit from Citigroup said we need to do a better job of acknowledging and embracing the new realities. Was that an indication that some of them got it, or did you sense this was largely still a performance on their part?
No, I think that we're getting through. I think they hated the idea of having to come before these mere mortals today to confess that they had not done what we expected them to do. Don't forget, these are very, very rich men who are not accustomed to answering to anybody. As a matter of fact, they are more accustomed to having influence in the Congress of the United States because of all of the money that they put into politicians. So this was not comfortable for them. I don't think they want to be back here, and I do expect that there are going to be some changes. We've got to keep after them, though. They don't give in easily, but I think we've got them on the run.
So you raised a point that is probably closer to the heart of most Americans than the headlines that have been about the corporate jets and the bonuses, the question of credit card rates and what it's actually doing to the on-the-line consumer. But let me ask you about those sort of big-ticket horror stories, the bonus money, the bailout money that essentially turns into bonus money for the jets and all the rest of that. Is there anything that can be tangibly done to make sure that future bailout money does not get redirected into the pockets of these already rich men?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have $350 billion more dollars in bailout, the TARP money, that's going to be released pretty soon. And Secretary Geithner was on television last night speaking to the public about what is going to happen with that money. Now, there was some disappointment that he didn't give a lot of details. He just kind of talked in generalities. But we fully expect that the package that they bring to the Congress of the United States will have more details in it, and we have more details to suggest to them.
The detail that comes out of that letter from the Attorney General of New York, Mr. Cuomo, that Bank of America was apparently, he believes, at least as a result of the initial investigation he's conducted, was apparently complicit in awarding those bonuses out before, essentially to beat the merger, to beat the oversight.
I believe that, too. I didn't like Mr. Lewis's answer today. I thought that he skirted the question a bit, but I think it's becoming clear that he knew about those bonuses prior to signing off on the deal, that he was aware that they were going to give them out earlier than normal, and I don't think he's going to be able to get away with that. I think this investigation is going to unveil the facts.
Is that best left for the Attorney General of one state, or is that your purview?
Well, actually, you know, I was reminded today that we set public policy. We're not the cops. We don't have the ability to basically put him in jail. But I'm glad that the Attorney General of New York is opening this all up, and this may force the Attorney General of the United States to have to get more involved.
Lastly, Congresswoman, Senator Snowe of Maine said today she thinks that executive pay cap that the president wanted, first $400,000, now $500,000, is likely to be left out of the final version of the stimulus. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with the fact that anybody would think that somehow we don't have the duty or the responsibility to deal with the outrageous pay and bonuses that they get. And it should be in the stimulus. If it's not in the stimulus, it should be in the TARP. If it's not, those of us who believe that we should regulate a lot better than we're doing are going to keep up our efforts to get it done.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters, as always, it's been very illuminating. Thanks for some of your time tonight.
You're so welcome. Thank you.